Okay, sorry, we've got the colors a little bit mixed up here, so we're going to switch those over, but then we will be good to go. Boom! Over at the 8 o'clock position on Antigua Shipyard, we have our red Zerg player from Team SCV Life, none other than the 13-time reigning Fight Club champion, Hyun. And his opponent here at the top right-hand corner is our purple Zerg player, winner of the last 2 games in a row for Team FX Open Esports. It's Lucky. And just to update everyone out there, if you weren't watching Fight Club on Monday, well, it was a good set, as Hyun defeated MVP Finale 5-3. And next week, Hyun will actually be going against the master of the 1-1-1 himself, Startail Parting.
That's going to be quite an exciting match. I mean, if you've got a wedding, just write your apology right now.
Oh, Hyun is 9 pooling. Oh, Hyun. Oh, Hyun. All right, so a little bit of
Hyun, what have you
aggression.
Hyun'd?
Yes.
Done.
This is, he is Hyunstoppable.
I mean, you stole that one off the Team Liquid thread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is Hyunbelievable.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay.
I think any word with "un" in the front.
Yes. Hyunstoppable, Hyunbelievable.
Like, Lucky will be Hyundun.
Yeah. Hyundun, that's a good one. All right. Lucky's Reign of Terror. All right, so let's see here. Hyun's going to try and put on pressure, and Lucky, let's hope he puts down a 15. Nope. It's a 15 hatch. No early pool coming out for him.
Lucky is Hyun Lucky.
Yeah.
There it is, folks. So much trouble right now.
Yeah.
FXO Lucky.
Hyun effing real. Well, anyway, so let's see here. Hyun has 6
That's
lanes.
not a real word.
No, I know. Hyun is popping out 8 lanes at the moment, and unfortunately for Lucky, he has nothing really with which to defend this. He is going for gas first before his pool, in addition, or no, that was just an extractor trick, as now he's putting down the, as I think he caught a glimpse of what was actually going on here. Spawning pool's coming up, but it's going to be so long before that's in play.
Yep, well, at least he's running around checking for a spine crawler. He's like, okay, you don't have one of those. Other than that, that's about the only thing we can say right now in Lucky's favor. Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to put down an extractor? What? You need every drone you can have right now. Because if he does manage to surround these Zerglings by some miraculous mistake from TSL Hyun, would be really, really good for him. But it looks like Hyun is just going to be content to take out the expansion as he's currently expanding on his own. His worker count is residing at 12, 11. He cancels the gas as he realizes, I'm going to be able to kill this hatchery. And there's the cancel out of Lucky.
Absolutely necessary. We have first 6 lings now popping up. And Hyun hasn't been able to kill really any drones yet, but he has started to deny some mining time. Looks like Lucky's not going to take too much damage as those lings are about to pop out from him, but should give Hyun the ability he needs to get up that earlier second base, and that's really what's important. Really clever maneuver there, though. Actually, did you see what he just did there? Blocking off and actually stopping the surface area from those Zerglings of actually surrounding that. That was an incredibly good play from Lucky.
Well, what blew my mind was the timing on the cancel. He canceled it just a second before the Zerglings were going to come out, and Hyun actually did engage, but Lucky didn't have his Zergling selected right as they spawned. If he had those eggs selected, could have immediately issued an attack move command and surrounded so many of those Zerglings, but just a slight blunder out of Lucky. But yeah, the evolution chamber was, I was actually, you know, I haven't seen that so much. I have seen it before, but never so, the positioning there was just so perfect. To the point where I was like, oh my god, like this is so effective.
He trapped all of his drones in that tiny little pocket. They couldn't be engaged on at all. I mean, if the Zerglings had come in just a little bit further, the drones could have just popped out a little bit, completely surrounded everything, and then gotten engaged with the rest of the Zerglings too as soon as he canceled the evolution chamber. So really well played. So kind of a crazy way to start things off. Hyun comes out with a little bit of an advantage because he does have his second base down and already mining.
Well, Hyun currently at 24 workers, Lucky at 22. We will have speed started for Lucky a little bit earlier, as well as a Baneling Nest. Hyun, of course, does not have an extractor, as we saw he canceled his others. And that's because, well, Hyun only makes extractors at his natural. So there's a big troll on us when he started building one, because we should have known it wasn't going to happen.
Well, we'll see now what he plans to do going forward, but of course he's got a couple of queens and a spine crawler to hold off any pressure at the beginning of this game, but it's still going to be very difficult to try and bypass the Baneling phase himself. Especially with the slightly overexposed base and no speed to back that up. It's quite a bit behind his opponent.
No, it definitely is. We should see something along the lines of a Roach Warren at this stage from Hyun. Trying to invest into speed at this late of a point in the game, you're not going to find that much success, and there it is, the Roach Warren going down, as well as an Evolution Chamber from Hyun. Hyun has often opted in the past, guys, to just in many matchups, go for one Evolution Chamber, get himself the ranged attack upgrades, then throw down another one and start investing into melee and carapace as a follow-up. We'll see what he does here in the ZVZ as he's starting to spread creep onto the low ground. Of course, Kevin, I know you like mutas a lot.
I do.
How often do we see Hyun use them, especially on Antigua?
You mean Lucky? Or are you talking about Hyun? I'm sorry.
Well, you know, we've talked about how Antigua's not the greatest map for Mutalisks.
Right, because, yeah, I mean, the issue is that, of course, you don't have a lot of room that actually navigates up and around the side. You can a lot more effectively with just Speedlings or a couple of Roaches that actually break down those rocks, be able to put pressure on the third. So it's not like they're necessary like they are on some maps to be able to split the defenses. And you add on top of that the third base is actually still very, very close to the natural there, and you don't really have a lot of ground cover in order to be able to reinforce it. It's not as necessary to use the mobility of Mutas here, but still is a possibility. Obviously, though, with both players going after the +1 weapons, we're not going to see Spire play, at least for now. Yeah,
likely going to be just Roach play to start off. Could follow it up with some Infestors. Of course, the Infestors really lend strength to the player who intends to play more defensive. If you're going to try to go for quick Infestors on top of +1 and Roaches, you're not going to have a large Infestor count, and it's going to take a long time to actually get them done. Whereas right now we see Lucky getting quickly Glio Reconstitution as well as Hyun. Very mirrored builds out of both of these players. A little bit faster of an Overseer here, but notice that Lucky is also dropping down his third base in response to seeing this third out of Hyun that he was unable to do anything about.
But once again, Hyun's a little bit ahead on being able to establish his mining bases, and he made a calculated decision to bypass the right kind of tech there. As you're pointing out, Lucky going up to that infestation pit that was going to try and take that sort of a risk too and just get it out a little bit earlier. But that could give Hyun the time he needs, as he's been doing nothing but producing Roaches, to actually strike with a +1 attack.
Yeah, there are beautiful timings right before your player will get out a Spire, will get out an infestation pit. We are just so powerful. Now, once those Infestors spawn, if you already have not, found yourself without any Roaches at that point, if you manage to hold on to things, the Infestors can pop. All of a sudden, the tides can turn in a split second. So we're going to wait and see exactly what does happen. Is it looks like Hyun may be gearing up to push out. He's making so many Roaches. He's just waiting for Glio Reconstitution to finish. Just 10 more seconds. He's leaving now across the map. Notice how he's circumventing around the left-hand side. No, the Zergling's going to spot these Roaches moving out. So instead, he just takes the short route, cuts right across the middle. Roaches for Lucky are in... look at this. It's 11 to 24 right now. He has less than half the Roach count. It's all going to come down to Burrow, and whether or not, no, he's not opting to make any Infestors at all. He realizes this timing is too fast.
We're in a similar situation to game number 1, where Ragnarok was able to hit before, any sort of a significant Infestor play was able to hit the actual field. So we'll see if that's going to be the case here, but, thus far, Lucky's done a nice job of pulling back his hurt Roaches over and over again, but he just doesn't have the quantity of units necessary to start pushing this back. Spinecrawler actually stood in there and engaged for quite a while, survived for a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but Hyun still not really finding any problems here. Now he can break off this force and start heading over to the third, or just bait these down the ramp and get a better engagement, which is what he's done.
Yeah, he is continuing to stream reinforcements across the map. Wants to try to seal the deal right now. He's realizing, hey, look, I can continue now with my Roach advantage to pick off reinforcements as they're coming in from your third. Lucky continuing to make these. Surprisingly, actually, he's going to throw down the Corruption over on the third base, which is kind of where he had a lot of free kills coming from.
Okay, well, that hatchery is actually a goner here as Hyun gets himself a nice position there. Like you mentioned, I mean, just shutting down everything that Lucky could possibly do. And there it is, GG. Hyun, unsurprisingly, taking a game in an IPL event, sets TSL back up 3-2. And that's it for the 5th game. We're going to move to the 6th now. TSL once again with a small advantage. FXO, of course, fighting to get into the Premier Division. It looks like up next for FXO is going to be the Talteran himself, Mr. Gumiho.
Gumiho, ZVT. This is going to be exciting stuff, guys. Hyun, is he just going to reign? Is he going to reign of terror all the way to the finish? We'll have to find out. Gumiho versus, Gumiho coming up next. We'll see if he can take down Hyun. And the map is going to actually be Metropolis.
All right, guys, well, we're going to run to a commercial break. While you're away, don't forget, if you want to pick up some tickets to IPL 5, our friends over at Shoot Mania, the new first-person shooter game from Ubisoft and Naudio, actually giving a bunch of tickets away to IPL 5 to you, our fans. And thanks to them, you can head over to IGN.com/IPL5promo and pick those up. The instructions will pop up on screen. Again, IGN.com/IPL5promo. We're going to run to that commercial break, though, and we'll be back for game number 6 here in just a second.